What's going on, y'all? This is my first video of a series I'm going to start that's going to detail pretty much my journey to getting my CDL, and just what it's like driving a Class A vehicle. I decided about a year and a half ago that I was going to pursue getting my CDL, and some things came up. I was trying to buy a house. And right in the middle of that, I was also trying to get my CDL. And last minute, I pretty much backed out. This was about a year ago. I backed out in order to maintain my full-time job and save enough money up to get my house that I currently have right now. So I did that. I got the house, continued to work full-time, and pretty much saved up some more money during the meantime over the course of that year, which leads me up to about right now. Because I knew that if I were to start school, I wouldn't be able to maintain a full-time job. And I obviously I got to pay my mortgage. I have, regular expenses. I have utilities. I have pretty much everything that comes with home ownership and just daily day-to-day living. It's September 2024 right now, and if you ain't living under a rock, you know that times are kind of hard right now. Inflation's up, things cost a lot of money, so dropping down to part-time was pretty tough for me. So what I did was, during the last year, I pretty much set some money aside that was going to float me through this period that I'm in school. At this moment right now, I'm on my last week of school. I went with a school called Ancora. I think they're based out of North Carolina, possibly. I might be wrong on that. But pretty much they run out of a local college in my area. It's Delaware County, PA. I'm at Delaware County College right now. So it's a 4-week program here. Allstate, I was in touch with them. I was in touch with the Trucking Academy. They're also a 4-week program. Allstate runs 6 months at 12 grand, and Cora runs 4 weeks at 5 grand. 4 weeks around 5 grand seems to be about the industry standard right now, from what I'm aware of. 160 driving the Trucking Academy, Ancora, and the last school that used to run out of Delaware County before Ancora was also 4 weeks at 5 grand. I couldn't do Allstate. It's too much money. It's too long. I can't be, down to part-time for 6 months. And I can't do full-time and part-time school for 6 months. That's just too drawn out. I need to get my feet in the game now. Excuse me. So right now I'm in school. This video is mainly going to be about the process on what got me here into school. Like I said, it's pretty much an introduction. I plan on doing some pre-trip videos, air brake test, all modernized. This is everything post-modernization, which happened a few years ago. The final test changed. The pre-trip inspection got a lot slimmer. It's not like it used to be where you need to go over every specific thing on the truck. The test now, they trimmed a lot of fat off of it. It's pretty easy. In the last like 2 years, I was studying all the pre-modernized stuff. So when I came into this, I was in pretty good shape. Also, I have a lot of mechanical knowledge. I've been messing with cars pretty much my whole life. The rest of my YouTube channel is mostly car stuff, some gaming stuff on the side. But so the first thing I did was, pretty much if you are looking at getting your CDL, you need to know what do you want to drive. Do you want to drive a Class A? Do you want to drive a Class B? Do you want to drive a passenger vehicle like a bus? I feel like even if you want to drive a Class B, you are better off getting a Class A. It will cover that B window minus passengers, and it just opens up a lot more opportunities. If you have a Class A license, you can drive a Class B vehicle with air brakes as long as you're certified with air brakes, which, if you want to drive Class A, 90% chance you're going to have to do air brakes. It might be 100% for all I know. I know there is a air brake restriction in Pennsylvania. Again, that's where all this information I'm giving you is going through, PennDOT, That's Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, and how things are here in the Pennsylvania region. Things might change state to state, but a lot of it is federally mandated, so a lot of it's also going to carry over into pretty much every other state, minus California. They don't even get me started on that. You got to get your DOT physical first. That's the first thing you need to do, is get your DOT physical. If you get in touch with a school, they might send you to a place that they prefer, but you can go to a lot of different places and just make sure you ask for a DOT physical. They have to give you a specific one to put you in a system. You need your DOT physical, I believe, to go get your permit first. In my case, I did. That was at least the steps that I was given by my school, was to get my DOT physical, then show up to the permit. So after you get that, then you move on to the permit. I'm going to break down the permit now, and after the permit, then you need to go get a drug screening. So I'm not going to mention that again, but you do your DOT physical, you get your permit, then you do your drug screening. So next we'll break down the permit. So you're going to want to probably get your Class A license. The first thing you're going to do is go on the PennDOT website, and they're going to give you instructions. There's going to be two forms. There's going to be your self-certification form and another form, I believe. You're going to have to bring, I don't know about have to, but what I would bring to play it safe is your social, your birth certificate, your current driver's license. That way you have two forms of ID. Well, in that case, it'd be, almost three. But, you just always, when it comes to stuff like that, you always want to overdo it. Always bring more than what you think you're going to need. You don't want to end up waiting at the DMV for, I waited 2.5 hours to do my permit test. And God forbid if I waited that long and I got up to that desk and they asked for something that I didn't bring, I would have been pretty heated. So bring more than what you think you're going to need. Bring the two forms that you're going to fill out, get them printed out, get them filled out. Bring a debit card with some good money on there. It could be upwards of $100 depending on when you need to do your license renewal. That fee can get kind of hefty depending on when you're due for your renewal. From my understanding, the further away from your renewal, the more money it is. I might have it backwards, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And I think I ended up paying, like $68 or $78 for my renewal. And that wasn't including the endorsements that I wanted. For me, it was the air brake and the general knowledge, air brake, and combination vehicle, and I think the air brake one might have been something. I don't have I have the forms on my phone, but I don't want to get out of the camera mode. But you got to look that up on the form. It'll tell you it's $6 for each one. So have some money set aside to do this, just to get your permit. You don't have to schedule your permit test. At least in my area, you didn't. Again, this is Delaware County, PA, a little south of Philadelphia. You will go to the DMV. You'll tell them what you need. They'll send you over. They'll give you a number. You'll sit down. You'll wait for your number to be called. You'll go up to a desk. You'll give that person your information. Tell them what you're there for. Give them the sheets. Edit the sheets at all right there if you need to. And then you'll probably go sit back down. And then you'll wait a few minutes. They'll call you back up, and they'll give you the computer to go to. Again, you're going to be taking 3 tests that day. You don't have to take all 3 at once. I highly recommend you do. There's really no reason not to. If you study enough, this is one thing I can't stress enough about some of the stuff that I've seen with people trying to get into this. And this isn't to badmouth anybody. I know people have a life and they have, they got business to handle. They got a family, they got kids and all that. But when you get into this, you got to be all into it. You need to pretty much put down all the distractions. For me, there was no drinking. I put down the video games. I stopped watching pretty much any, series I was watching. I had to cut it out. I put aside all my car stuff that I do. I wasn't working on a car. Every minute I had that was completely free, minus aside from personal time with my girlfriend and my family. But it was like, if I felt like I had that time where I'm like, all right, I can sit back and chill and maybe play a couple rounds of my games, you know, some Battlefield or whatever, it was like, you know what, no, I need to study. You got to put your game face on, and you got to lace up if you are dead serious about this. Because you don't want to go into that permit test, man, and start failing questions left and right. Because trust me, the minute you get one or two wrong, the pressure's on, because you know you were already almost at the threshold. There's a percentage that you need to pass on each 3 tests. If you get more than X amount wrong, you fail. And you got to come back and do it another day. So, you know, I have apps that are really good to use. I'll probably make a separate video for them, but pretty much if you go on the App Store and you type in CDL practice, you'll get some ones. There's a couple ones with blue icon. I recommend all of them. And then there's a Chris CDL website. Again, I'll do a separate video for them. Best guides to study when you're trying to get your Class A permit test. We'll do that separately. That'll be a shorter video than this. Again, this is just the introduction to the process. So once you get your CDL, or your CDL permit, your Class A permit, you know, you'll go up to the computer, you pass your test, boom, boom, boom. You go back up to the desk, you wait in line. They give you your permit right there on the spot. So now you have your permit. Now you need schooling. A couple years ago, the federal government mandated that you need what's called ELDT. That's entry-level driver training. Back in the day, if you had the knowledge and you had the permit, you could pretty much go right away to the DMV and take your test. If somehow, I don't know if this is true, but from my understanding back in the day, if you knew somebody that was certified by the government, not even at the DMV, you could get your license. So, and, you know, the feds caught wind of that. They seen people were driving that shouldn't have been driving. You know, some people just had extra money and they could pay somebody off and get it. But now you actually have to go to an accredited school and get your ELDT and your hours in before you're even allowed to take your test. So again, I'm with Ancora, pardon me. I'm in the school Ancora right now at Delaware County College in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. You can go wherever you want. I mentioned some earlier. You got the driving academy is supposedly John claims to be the best in the industry. I do watch their videos religiously. They were very, very good, but too far from me. They were a good, I think they were a good hour and a half, hour 45 away from me, and they wanted me to come out and stay in a hotel for 4 weeks, and I was looking at like an extra $1,700 in expenses and gas, and it was just too much. And then you got 160 driving, or 160 Academy. That's in Jersey. I took a tour with them. I think I met with a girl named Ashley or Michelle. She's super friendly. I was surprised when I rode up to there because the address brings you to a little hut and you're looking for the trucks, and that's just the office. So if you ever go into that place and you think you're at the wrong place when you see this hut, you're not. There's that. There's Ancora. You can either contact them directly and ask about their Delaware County location, or you can call Delaware County College directly, or you can go with Allstate. There's that you're gonna have to get on your own, because again, that varies by location, and I'm just naming you some stuff that's kind of in the tri-state area. Now, one thing I wish I would have known before I came here to Ancora is your automatic restriction. This is the pickle that I'm in right now, and I wish I knew it before. And what I'm starting to understand is all these places that offer these 4-week courses, you're not in a manual truck. You're in an automatic. And that comes with 2 problems. One, you're not getting the knowledge and the learning on a manual truck that is going to save you in the long run. Eventually, unless you're with a mega carrier, you're probably going to need to drive a manual truck at one point. And which leads me to my second problem. If you take your test in an automatic, you're going to have an E restriction on your license. You cannot legally drive a manual truck, according to the government. And the truck that I'm going to be driving, which this is all going to be in a separate video. This is going to be what I'm going to be doing for my career. and where I'm going to be driving. I'm going to be driving a manual truck. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I have a game plan on how I'm going to lift this restriction once I graduate this test, which is next week. Again, I'm on my last week of school. My last day in school is Thursday, and next Wednesday or Thursday, I take my test in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So I'll probably do another video on the E-restriction, but I'll just glance over it real quick. Pretty much, if you take the test in an automatic, you get an E-restriction. You can't drive a manual truck. And some people want to drive an automatic. Some smaller carriers, they don't have these new automatic trucks, and you got to drive a manual. So what you need to do with that is you actually have to go back to the DMV. You have to get the E-restriction removed. But to do that, you have to take a test. But in order to take the test, you actually have to get an E-restriction permit from them. And then you go take the test in a manual. The DMV does not provide a manual. You can do it two ways. You can go to a school, which I looked into about 5, and they all wanted over $1,200. Yes, over $1,000 to go to school, take a mandatory class to prove that I can drive manual, which I already, mind you, I'm in school right now. So after taking 4 weeks of school, they want me to take another class, pay another $1,000 on top of the $5,000, take the class, then take another test, which is more money. That's like $300 to $400 right there to test. And then, then I get my E-restriction lifted. So what I plan on pretty much doing is I'm going to pass my test next week. I'm going to get my CDL in the mail less than 15 days later. I'm going to go to the DMV. I'm going to get my E-restriction permit. And then I'm going to actually schedule a test with a school. And I have a truck that I'm going to be bringing, or they have a truck. That school, they're not going to make me take the mandatory class. So yeah, that's pretty much what it is so far, and that's pretty much it for this video right here. Again, just a little introduction on how you are going to go about getting your CDL. I'm going to be doing videos in the future on the E-restriction, what my career is going to be like. I want to do the modernized air brake test. I'm going to do the modernized in-cab inspection with the tug test. I'm going to do exterior pre-trip. And once I start driving and I'm in the game, I love to share some more stuff, on the industry itself and the stuff that I've learned over the last 2 years, just getting my feet wet into this. My dad's a truck driver. He's been driving since the 80s, I believe. And he's taught me a lot. I've been practicing with him. I've been practicing in his manual truck. I have some videos posted with that on my YouTube account. You can check out. The first day of me driving manual, man, it's not like a car. It's not like a car at all. And they want you to double clutch on the manual test. So that's learning a whole nother thing that you don't do when you're in a car. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. Just a little introduction, what's to come. Just wanted to introduce myself. I don't ever really get on camera. I might not have one video on my YouTube channel here with me. So yeah, man, stay tuned. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to stay updated on my Class A journey. I'd love to have some of you guys along for the ride. All right, y'all. Be good. Take it easy.